Cybercrime is on the rise, and hackers are getting smarter every day. From phishing scams to ransomware attacks, criminals are after your devices and your money. So how do you fight back? One of the best defenses is solid antivirus software. It blocks suspicious websites and stops hackers before they can do any damage. A healthy dose of skepticism when opening emails or clicking links doesn't hurt either. But for the antivirus help you need, I trust and recommend Total AV. They update you in real time, keeping you protected from the latest threats. Go to protectwithkim.com now and get Total AV for just $19 for the first year. It covers up to 5 devices, including Windows, Macs, and smartphones. That's protectwithkim.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Your security matters. Get protected now. Go to protectwithkim.com for my exclusive deal with Total AV. Just $19 for the first year. That's protectwithkim.com. 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 Sign up for my free daily newsletter, The Current, at getkim.com. Let's start off with a fun trivia question.
Oh, okay.
This is something that when you're out with your family members and friends and you want to really impress them, you can use this. And then afterwards, people look at you and they're like, how did he get so smart?
I have a feeling the trivia question is just to set up one of your bad jokes, but I'm going to let you go. Just go on, carry on.
It's not.
Okay, I don't believe you for a second.
Not.
All
okay,
right.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay. What company ran the first internet banner ad back in 1994? I'm going to give you options. Was it AT&T? Was it IBM? Was it Netscape or America Online?
I want to say America Online because they were huge when the internet was going, and they probably were innovators when it came to online advertising. They may have even come up with the first banner ad. But I remember back in the day, IBM ran a lot of ads.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my answer. It's going to be IBM.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Is that your final answer?
It is. Oh, gosh.
Do you want to phone a friend?
I do. Yes, I do. To get me out of here.
Okay.
Uber. Can I phone an Uber?
Holy clicks. Guess what it was? AT&T.
Oh.
Okay. They ran an ad that said, have you ever clicked your mouse right here? Now, this is the crazy part.
That's like the original clickbait.
It was. 50% of people who saw the ad clicked it.
Which were millions at the time.
Yes, right. And so right now...
Because there was only 12 websites.
I know. If you go back and you can see me with the big hair and stuff like that. Right now, the click-through rate's 0.03%.
Well, yeah, nobody clicks on it.
Yes.
Especially because most of it's lies anyway.
No.
Yes.
Honest?
I don't know why these companies have to trick you. There was a company that was just is being sued for tricking people. I think it was Uber into paying for Uber One.
That. Yes.
And they're getting sued. I'm like, if you're such a great company, if you're worth all these billions of dollars, why do you have to trick me into giving you my money?
And now, if you go onto Uber's website and you look at the CEO's message, I'm sure it says something like, we are strategizing for a future and our customers are so important to us in this paradigm. And yeah.
We're hoping to fool them so they sign up and then we get to charge them forever because they didn't even know they signed up.
I remember a banner that said, click here to join the pee-pee club.
The pee-pee club?
And then when you clicked it, it said urine.
Was that your dumb joke?
That was my dumb joke.
All that. The first 2 minutes of the podcast is just to set up that dumb joke.
Hey, let me tell you, people love my jokes.
I know.
They do.
I know. I'm not one of those people.
How do you know? Well, let me tell you how I know. How I know that people love my jokes.
I'm waiting.
Is that if you go to trustpilot.com and you type in review Kim Komando, I have almost 700 reviews.
Now, is this based on the current newsletter?
And the shows and everything like that.
Everything, all combined, okay.
So we have 700 reviews, and 99% of them are 5 stars.
Okay.
There's one guy who left me a 2-star review. And I'm gonna write him back because in this
you're gonna hunt him down. You're gonna do more than write him back.
The hell were you thinking?
You're gonna get a SWAT team out there.
Bob, it's Kim.
Knock, knock, knock. It's your worst nightmare.
Well, he must have made a mistake.
Oh, of course. No one can not like you.
No, because he talks about how great everything is, and then he gives me a 2-star review.
Oh, actually, that might have been a mistake.
Yes. So, Bob, go fix it.
Oh, I thought that's not the F word I thought you were going to say when you were talking to Bob.
Not me? My genteel self? Would I ever say such a phrase?
Oh, no, never. Of course not.
But anyway, 650,000 people start their day with The Current, my free newsletter.
Yes.
And you can sign up over at getkim.com.
And this is The Current podcast.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
And I'm Kim Commando.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, Andrew.
Speaking of Uber, we got a crazy Uber story coming up, which you're not going to believe the story and the events, and then Uber's reaction, even more unbelievable.
Did they charge him?
No, you're just going to have to wait.
Okay,
because as you told me before the show when you sat down, I didn't read it. So this is all going to be new to me.
That was the show prep.
I know this podcast is going to have one new listener, and that's Kim Commando.
Excellent. We love that. We love that. Also, we're giving away something different.
Yeah, I saw this giveaway. This is interesting.
Yeah, so I figured what we're going to do is we are going to give one person $500.
I'll take it.
You're not eligible.
Dang it.
And are those clean socks you're wearing?
Yeah, they're clean socks. They're white socks. We're not doing video today, so I can't prove it. But they're
gray.
Just white socks. They're not gray. It's the lighting. They're just white socks.
Clorox is your friend.
Holy moly.
And then whoever wins the $500 can give $500 to somebody else.
Am I eligible for the second $500?
Who's going to give you
I'm just
$500?
asking.
Nobody's going to give you $500.
We're not saying they are, but am I eligible? If they decide out of the kindness of their heart that I need new socks that are bright white.
I bought you socks.
They're black. You bought me black socks. Oh, no, you didn't. Those are probably great too.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm not good at washing clothes.
And your underwear's pink.
I'm not wearing underwear.
Me neither. We both go commando.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about some things that are happening in the news.
All right.
The Pope died. Everybody knows.
I heard.
So chatbots are predicting who's going to be the next Pope.
You know, in other countries other than America, you can bet on who's going to be the next Pope.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I think it's the guy. Is it from Argentina? No. It's like from an African country. That's the number one odds maker.
Yeah, that's Luis Antonio Tagle.
Yes.
Yes. And ChatGPT, ChatGPT says that's going to be the Pope.
But that ChatGPT is just going online and reading articles and looking betting odds. They just scrape the internet.
Grok and Gemini picked Cardinal Pietro Parolin.
Where's he from?
Rome.
Peter
of Rome.
Okay.
There are 3 Peters involved.
3 Peters?
Yes.
I'd bet on a Peter. Can I get odds on just get a Peter winning?
I just want a Peter.
Pope Peter?
So the bots, maybe they're right.
Did you watch Conclave? I know this is totally...
You know what? I would like to watch it, but my husband won't.
First of all, you're allowed to watch television without your husband.
Okay. We always do everything together.
Okay, sure.
Did
he go sailing with you?
Yes, I heard. Did he climb Machu Picchu with you? Did he go swimming with the sharks with you?
No. The answers are no.
No. Well, what we do is we do settle on one series.
Okay.
And so we just finished White Lotus, which was phenomenal. Have you seen it?
I'm only through season 1.
Oh.
My girlfriend and I watch about 2 hours of television a week. I don't have a ton of time for TV. So it's got to be good. So I burn through a lot of first episodes and I go, this is crap. And I move on to the next thing. But White Lotus, she loved it. So we finished season 1.
Yes. And wait till you get to see who died. Want me to tell you?
No, I don't.
Died in season 2?
You know, she Google searches. She goes to Wikipedia and she Google searches the endings before she watches anything.
Really?
Yes. I don't know why she does it. She does good. She doesn't spoil. She doesn't sit there and tell me, watch this. But she has to know how is it going to end.
Is she wearing shoes now?
Not really.
See, that's kind of a weird thing for me.
I know. She doesn't like the fact that you're weirded out about it.
Well, it's like, it's hot. The pavement's hot. I don't even put my dogs on hot pavement.
She's got a garage.
Excellent. Okay, well, let's move on to Meta glasses.
Wait a minute. Conclave, though. Why can't you watch it?
Because he's saying that it's just based on inferences and it's not correct and
of course,
it's blah, blah, blah.
It's 100% made up. It's not a true story.
I told him that. I said, you think White Lotus is a true story too?
Exactly. He's like, this hotel would never exist. No one would take a poop in a suitcase. This show's ridiculous.
I know. But at season 3, he's like, let's go to that 4 seasons.
Conclave is really interesting if you think of just they're telling the story of how the process works. Even if that's 80% accurate, it's very interesting. The ending is not believable at all. But the lead up to the ending, very cool. I highly recommend it.
Have you been to Rome?
No, we're talking about a movie.
No, I've been to Rome. That's why, I've seen
That's the only reason you asked.
No, I'm just wondering if you ever did.
You can travel drop on me.
No, I think you should go if you've never seen it. I actually went to Mass and I was like 2 feet away from the Pope.
2 feet away from the real Pope?
Yes, the real Pope.
That's impressive. That's
See,
cool.
Okay, let me just tell you something. When you go to Rome, and on Wednesdays, I don't know if there would still be, whatever day of the week it is, but when I went, it was on Wednesdays that the Pope would hold Mass outside.
Okay.
And then you need a ticket in order to get into Mass outside.
With the Pope.
With the Pope. Okay. So, and Mass starts at 11 and you got to get there at 8. And it's really, and then there's some assigned seating in the front. And then it's just whoever comes in, whoever has a ticket.
Okay.
So I learned all this when I got to Rome.
So you thought I was just going to stroll on into Mass.
Yes.
And then you're like, oh, I need a ticket. You mean millions of people don't want to do this?
Do you know who I am? I mean, come on. I'm a Catholic.
So did you get your hands on a ticket?
I went down to the concierge.
Okay.
This is the funniest part. I went down to the concierge and said, I need one of those blue tickets.
Just one? You're going by yourself?
No, 3 blue tickets. Okay. Me, Barry, and Ian.
That was another thing Barry wasn't going to do with you.
Oh, no, he was there. And so I said, I need 3 blue tickets because the blue tickets get you to the front.
Okay.
And the concierge says, oh, Madame sold out for many, many months.
Sure.
Many, many months.
Absolutely.
And I said, you don't understand. I need 3 blue tickets. And he said, let me see what I can do. As I slipped him a $50 bill.
That's it? Just $50?
Wait. He calls me back like 3 hours later. Says, I have acquired 3 blue tickets for tomorrow's Mass.
$50 is all it cost you?
No, it cost me $50 to get him on the phone.
Okay.
To get the blue tickets.
What were the blue tickets?
And they're free, by the way.
Of course.
It's like $200 each.
Still, that's not bad.
But I just thought it was funny that I had to buy tickets on the black market.
Well, it's like Ticketmaster. You got to pay fees.
They don't go see the Pope.
So can I tell a quick story? I went to Catholic Mass for Easter.
Oh, nice.
Lisa's super Catholic. And so...
all right, I like her. Okay, she doesn't have to wear shoes.
I knew that would win you over. So we go, and I wasn't going to do communion. I'm not Catholic. And she's like, it's fine. Just do communion. It's Easter. There's so many people in here that are Catholic that haven't been to church in exactly a year. So I'm like, okay. So I go up, and I get he holds it up, and he goes, the body of Christ. And he puts it in my hand. And I was just observing and taking everything in. I really wasn't paying attention because I was... interesting. I love how ceremonial Catholic Church is. It's not like traditional where there's, like a hip hop band that goes on before. I know. Nothing against that.
And that's good. It's good. If you like that.
If that's your thing,
that's what you
do
like.
it. But I liked it. I was the pomp and the circumstance. I liked it. And I walked away and I went and sat down.
You didn't put it in your mouth?
No. And there's 100 people in line taking communion. And he leaves that line and comes over and looks at me. And he wasn't angry. He was just stern. And he goes, consume that. And I'm like, I don't know. So I got down on my knees. I didn't know what was happening. I kneeled. And he's like, consume that. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. I literally was freaking out. A guy dressed in a big robe in front of a big Jesus was yelling at me to consume that. And Lisa leans over and she just goes, eat it. He wants you to eat it. And again, he goes, consume that. He said nothing else. He just kept repeating, consume that. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And I took communion. And he was like, okay, great. And he walked away and finished the service.
Forgive me, Father, for I've said.
Consume that.
Can we move on?
Sure.
All right. Missing out on a show that everyone's talking about is not an option for me. I'm constantly signing up for this streaming service or that one, and then months later, I realize I'm still paying for the service. You know when you sign up for something, forget about it until after the trial period ends, and then you're charged month after month? Getting Rocket Money was a game changer for me. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. They have over 5 million users and have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Kim today. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. Rocketmoney.com/Kim. Check it out right now. rocketmoney.com/Kim. Did you know that Fast Growing Trees is America's largest online nursery? Yup, over 6,000 varieties of indoor and outdoor plants, plus more than 2 million happy customers. Whether you're after fruit trees, evergreens, houseplants, or something unique, They've got it all. No matter what your yard looks like or what your dream it could be, Fast Growing Trees has you covered. I ordered an avocado tree for my backyard, and it's perfect. No green thumb, no problem. On top of their Alive and Thrive guarantee, they offer free plant consultation forever. Save 90% on landscaping costs when you DIY and get plants delivered directly from fastgrowingtrees.com. Right now, save up to 50% on select plants. And as a Kim Komando listener, you get an additional 15% off your first purchase when you use code KIM at checkout. That's an additional 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using code KIM. That's fastgrowingtrees.com for an additional 15% off using the code KIM.
Meta glasses.
What happened?
I have to get mine back. I loaned mine to a friend, Austin, but I'm going to get them back because now that has a live translate.
Oh, that's cool.
I think it's so cool. So you'd be like, you could have your glasses on, and then maybe I would finally understand your humor.
You just sat there and laughed for 2 minutes straight.
You're right, I did.
Consume that.
So you have to download the language packs.
That's really cool.
I know. I'm going to try it.
It's going to be like closed captioning in the real world.
Yes.
I love that.
Love that.
Now, is it going to play back what you say in English in the other
I don't
language?
know yet. I haven't gotten my glasses, but I'm going to get them
Because that
back.
would be impressive if it could do that, too.
I guess maybe I could buy another pair.
I don't know.
They're like $300.
They're that expensive.
Yes.
All right.
See, look at you. You were making fun of me right there.
I was.
You're going to be like, oh.
I love to make fun of you.
Exactly.
It's like one of my hobbies.
This is a hair-raising warning. Ads on Hims, Keeps, and Row promising to bring back your hairline. Obviously, you haven't tried it.
No, I don't. I'm good.
It's called finasteride.
That's the drug name?
Yeah, it's topical,
Okay.
and they're selling it, but it's not FDA approved.
Hims is? I mean, that's legitimate business.
Yeah, the pill is approved, and the companies are not spelling out the side effects. Now, remember, you're going to put this on your head,
Right?
topical,
You're right.
okay, in order to grow hair.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Maybe you ought to try it.
I mean, I'll try it. I don't want hair. I don't care about my hair.
Okay, here are the side effects. Number 1, depression.
I wish my hairline was better.
Okay. And by the way, these side effects can last long after you stop using it.
Oh, great.
Number 2, brain fog.
Why do I have this cream?
Okay. Number 3 is erectile dysfunction.
No, I'm out. I'm out. You're going to have to take another pill from Hims after you put on your cream. So we popping pills all day.
Be having hair all over.
Right.
Let's see. Meta just launched Edits. I haven't tried this yet either. It's a free video editor that's to compete with CapCut.
Yeah, and then they're posting ads when you go on Instagram to download it, but it says it's coming soon. I guess it's not ready to go yet.
Well, what they do is they roll it out.
Okay, so some users are getting it and not everybody.
Exactly. And finally, if you walked into Milan Design Week, have you ever been to Milan?
Of course. No.
I have.
I know you have. This is the only reason you said that story, so you can talk about another place you traveled to.
No, not true.
No?
No. You know, I didn't have a great experience in Milan.
No?
It was just Ian and myself.
Oh, Barry didn't go?
Barry didn't go.
Put it on the list.
And we were being followed by a quote-unquote Russian woman.
Why quote unquote?
Because, I'll tell you why. So she appeared to be Russian.
Okay.
So we walk into you know how like you feel somebody following you?
Yeah. Happened to me in San Francisco.
Okay. So Ian and I get into the elevator, and just as the doors are closing, this woman jumps into the elevator. And I looked at Ian like, you know, Ian and I are very close. I can look at him and he knows what I'm thinking. I look at him and like next, and I hit the button like we're getting off the elevator. So we get off the elevator and she gets off the next floor, and then these are old Italian hotels, and I see her on the stairs coming down towards us. And this was not the floor that our room was on. We were like on the 4th floor, but we got off on the 2nd floor. So I said to Ian, I said, come over here. We'll go up the other stairs, and we'll go up to our room. We go into our room, and it's and then she's following us. Like almost as if she was waiting for me to drop something or whatever so that she could like steal from us.
Okay.
Then we get into our room, and I said to him, I said, boy, that's really weird. And because when we got to the room, it was like our stuff was moved around. Like the suitcases were moved towards the windows and closed. And I mean, it was just kind of like somebody was in our room.
Yeah.
So I said, Ian, let's go down. So we go down to the front desk. And I said to the guy, I think somebody's in our room. I would like a new room key. And he said, oh, certainly. So he gives me a new room key. Doesn't ask who I am.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't ask what room I was in.
And you're not staying at the Motel 6.
No.
Nothing against the Motel 6, but you know.
But anyway, so then I called down, and then I called down. I spoke to the general manager, and I told him the whole story. I said, you know what? We're out of here. Because I can't stay here.
Sure, freaked out.
Yeah. So I'm saying, then he's like, well, we're going to charge you for the next 3 nights. Go ahead. Okay, try that. See how that's going to work out for you. Milan Design Week's happening. And maybe you were looking for something artistic.
Sure.
Maybe some new furniture.
Okay.
Okay. But this year they have something different that they released. It's from Audio Technica, big name. It's called the Hattori, and it is a levitating record player. So you put your record on this record player, vinyl, whatever you want to call it, and then you hit play, and then it lifts off of its little base while it's playing the music.
Okay.
So that's the party trick.
Sure.
Okay. So how much do you think something like that is?
Well, I know it's going to be expensive.
It is.
I'm going to say $2,500.
No. $9,999.
Well, it's not 10 grand at least.
It's
$10,000?
Yes. Definitely not a sound purchase. All right, scratch that.
No, I liked it. Back to back.
See?
She's on fire.
Wow, watch out. All right, so tell me about Uber.
Yeah, a woman and her boyfriend in Toronto
Okay.
decided to go to see the Toronto Raptors play a basketball game. Toronto Raptors play basketball.
Okay,
All right, just want to make sure we're clear on that.
I was kind of like, if you notice that confusion, I was trying to figure out what they did. Okay.
Between the two of them, they have 4 kids. The whole family wanted to go. So it's 6 people. They go to the game. They have a good time. They get a bunch of souvenirs, a bunch of food. And when they're coming home, they decide to take an Uber home.
Okay.
As they're driving home, the boyfriend and girlfriend are talking about how they're going to handle when they get home, getting out of the car, getting the stuff out, getting the kids out. And they divvy up the jobs and everything's great.
Okay.
A couple of kids fell asleep. So they're going to have to wake up kids or either carry them in. She decides she's going to carry the youngest in. He's going to wrangle the other 3 kids and all the souvenirs. And they have a plan of attack. She needs a garage door opener. So she runs, jumps, gets out of the Uber, runs in the house, grabs the garage door opener, comes back. The Uber's gone. The 3 kids are standing on the street. The boyfriend's in the house.
Oh, but the other kid's in the car?
There's a kid in the car.
Asleep.
Yes. The 3 children that did get out of the Uber are frantic because they saw this Uber drive away with their sibling inside.
Of course.
They're going crazy. So she immediately gets on the app, trying to contact the driver. The ride's over. He's closed it out.
Oh,
There's no link to the driver. So no problem. She gets on customer service with Uber and says, I need to contact the driver. He's got my child in the back of the Uber. Uber says, no, the ride's over. We will not contact you with the driver. She calls the police. Police show up in a nanosecond. They contact Uber. And Uber's like, well, of course we'll help. But you have to fill out a formal emergency dispute form.
And this is a little child because the child's sleeping. I mean, this is not a big kid.
Right. It's an 8-year-old.
Oh, okay.
This Uber driver is now 13 miles away.
Oh, my God.
With the sleeping child in the back of the Uber. Police then use their police resources, start radioing around. They have the plate of the Uber because it's on the app with the driver. They track him down 13 miles away. They question him. He had no idea that there was a kid there. He thought everybody was out and he took off.
I mean, thank God he wasn't some
Right, he wasn't
job
trying to
pedophile.
kidnap the child. Yeah. He was just not paying attention. So 90 minutes later, they finally reunite the mom and her child. 90 minutes.
You know what? I would have been.
Oh, I'd have already been dead. I'd have been freaking out so much.
Right.
No, that's not true. I probably would have been in control and composed. And the second my kid was returned, that's when I would have fallen apart.
Yeah, that's probably me too.
That's like the survival thing that
Yes.
happens, and then when everything's okay, that's when I would
Yeah,
have
I'm not the
gone
one
crazy.
that's going to like scream. I'm the one that's going to be like, okay, how do we fix this?
Correct. And so was this mom. I mean,
Right.
she was immediately doing
Right.
every single resource. So she's happy to have her kid back, wakes up the next morning, and she's livid. How could they have not connected her with the driver?
Immediately.
Immediately. He'd have been a block and a half away.
Right.
Nobody would have, the kids wouldn't have to gone through the trauma. She wouldn't have had, the police resources wouldn't have had to been used. Uber says this is part of their safety protocol, that they have to think the safety of the passengers and the safety of the drivers at the same time. And there was no way to prove that the kid was inside the car. So they offered her an apology
Okay.
of a $10 gift card.
No. A $10 gift card. They would have been better off not saying anything.
Of course they would.
I mean, $10.
This
A
is
10
ridiculous.
Okay, first of all, you can't go around the block for $10 in Uber. Okay, here's $10. Hope the kid's okay.
Right.
How about $10 and how about an Uber gift? How about an Uber gift card to our shop so you can buy some Uber hats and things
Absolutely.
like that?
You can use this for Uber
Merch.
Eats
Yes.
or regular Uber ride. $10. Now they're kind of defending themselves, saying this is part of their safety protocol, and maybe they'll look into it when it comes to minors. But as of right now, if you leave your kid sleeping in an Uber and it drives off, don't look to them to help you out.
I wonder what would have happened if it was a Waymo.
That's a good question. Because the Waymo, well, first of all, would you have felt safer, or would you have been more worried if your sleeping kid was in a Waymo?
That's a tough question.
Because you have the fact that your kid's alone in a car where a computer's driving and no one's supervising. Like the kid could have woke up and the Uber driver could have been like, oh my gosh, hold on, let's pull over. Like he could have been a good thing having an Uber driver with the kid.
I just would be afraid of that the Uber driver was a pedophile.
I understand that. And
Okay.
it wasn't. The police did not arrest the Uber driver. He had no idea. But I know what you're saying. That's why I'm saying. That's why it's two different factors here. Because there's be nobody in the kid. I read another story. This was like a couple days ago where a mom lost her kid because they put the child in the Uber to go to dad's house. And then the Uber went off track and totally went the opposite direction.
Was that a Waymo or an Uber guy?
Uber guy.
Okay.
And went the total wrong way. And the mom freaked out and tried to contact Uber. First of all, don't put your children in Ubers by themselves. But
I see a lot of that, by the way, with Waymo. Because the way that I go home, because I'm trying to avoid, Officer Mike in Paradise Valley. Who,
Correct.
It's like, pulls me over. Hey, Mike, how are you?
your worst enemy.
I know. And I see him. And he's sitting there with the gun. I'm like, with the radar gun. I'm like, come on.
I know how you can avoid him. Don't speed.
I'm not
Anyway,
speeding.
go.
But so I'm going through like all these different. Mike pulls me over. I think he just has the hots. Okay, I do. I think he's got a crush because it's like, hey Kim, think you were going 21 in that 20 mile, or how about the other one? Like, your windows are tinted.
So
yeah,
you say you see
it's Arizona.
in your neighborhood, you see Waymos with just kids in the back seat?
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure there's people that
Would you
consider
do
that
that?
safer. Not my kids' age, 10 and 7. No.
High school.
Yeah, high school, I'd have no problem with it.
High school.
I think Waymos are safe. I think there's the same risk. I know you're rolling your eyes. The same risk on the road with a Waymo than it is with any other car or driver. It's risky to get on the roads.
It is, especially when it's running the Windows operating system.
I love Waymo.
I saw a guy ordering an Uber when he left the gym.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. And I said, do you even lift, bro? It's so good. It's so bad. It's so good. It
Did
is
you
so-
even lift, bro?
All right. This is the part of the podcast where we get to pass along really useful information.
For some reason, I feel like not useful information is about to come our way.
It is so.
Why would you set it up that way then?
Because like Instagram, when's the best time for you to post on Instagram to get results? Do you know?
According to my company, iHeartMedia, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if it's 7 in the morning, noon, or 7 at night.
They're in bankruptcy. All right.
Okay.
The best time is Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Monday through Thursday, 9 to 11. So work time.
But Reels get better engagement during lunchtime.
But that's interesting because they're saying most people's viewing habits are at work during
Yes.
lunch.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Facebook.
Nighttime, 7 p.m.
No. Want to try again?
No.
Okay. Weekdays, 8 a.m. to noon. I don't know.
Again, people are supposed to be at work.
Yes. LinkedIn, morning hours.
Okay.
Like I said. TikTok. This is weird. TikTok. The first 2 to 3 seconds matter most, of course.
Yeah, you got to hook them in.
The best days are Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at around 5 p.m.
At least that's somewhat at the end of the day.
Yes, exactly.
So does that mean that people are going on Facebook and Instagram
In the morning.
quickly?
Yes.
And then when they want to doom scroll or have a full session of social media,
Exactly.
they're going to nuzzle in with TikTok in the evenings after they're done.
Yes.
That actually kind of makes sense.
Do you share reels with your kids?
My kids don't have phones.
Oh, they're not on. That's
Mm-mm.
right.
No.
Because that's something that Ian and I do back. We do a lot of that. Like I'll find a reel, he has a reel. And so like there'll be like 5 reels each time going back and forth.
My sister shares a lot with me, but I really don't. I don't do social media.
Yeah.
I'm not a big. I've done a lot of. I've kind of been on TikTok the last couple of weeks, just bored or whatever. I'm playing a lot of chess, so I'm searching a lot of chess things. I know, I'm really exciting. I'm searching a lot of chess stuff.
Consume
on TikTok. So I'm watching a lot of chess videos, but I don't do a ton of social media.
So Gen Zers are now with social media. They are locking in. That's the new phrase.
What does that mean?
Locking in. See, this is important.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're talking to a Gen Zer, you can say, "Hey, are you locking in?"
They're going to think I'm real cool.
I'm hip and groovy.
Do you have the Riz? And are you locking in, Skibbity Bro?
Good boy.
Good boy.
Locking in is that they are going on social media to find ways that they can be better people off of social media.
That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Get off of social media. There. Done.
So they go on social media to learn about like how they could be working out
Okay.
and how they could go on a hike or whatever it is.
But that's how I use social media. It's a search engine.
Yes.
It's a video search engine. And I don't have to sit there and read anything or go through,
No.
if you try to find a recipe online, it
So
takes an hour and a
annoying.
half to
I
scroll
hate it.
down.
I hate that. I love this is my grandma's chocolate recipe. And I'm like, just shut up.
Right. And then for some reason, they separate the ingredients and the recipe by 3 more other paragraphs and 3,600 pictures. I just need to know how much flour I need.
No.
That's it.
I don't, it's so annoying. I've stopped. But what you can do is when you get to that recipe page, you hit Control P for print. Yes. And then that's where it thinks that you want to print the recipe. So you can bypass all the BS.
Well, I just go on TikTok because TikTok are short videos. So I'm going to learn the whole recipe, all the ingredients, 45 seconds.
I
Done.
just use chat.
Same thing. I mean, it's the same thing.
Just
It's
go
social media.
right in and-
Speaking of ChatGPT, I got a
Oh, you
cool
know
story
what?
for you.
That was a professional segue.
Thanks.
Gosh,
I
my
appreciate it.
little baby's growing up.
All right. There was a user on X, which formerly known as Twitter, formerly profitable. And they were at home, about to go to bed, and they felt a sharp pain. And they thought, this is weird. They've had pains in this area. They didn't want to get into a lot of details. They don't want to put their medical history up online. But just said it had some similar pains before. So he decided not to ignore it, just pay attention to it, but go to bed. And when he woke up in the middle of the night, severe pain, worse than he had ever felt before. And previously before, he went on ChatGPT and put in his symptoms. Okay. And ChatGPT said, well, it could be this and could be that. Here's your options. Here's a couple things you can do. This time when he put it in and described the situation, ChatGPT responded with, go to the hospital right now.
Oh, wow.
Immediately. And he was like, well, that's weird. So he started probing a little bit more. Continuously, ChatGPT's response: go to the hospital.
You need to get out of
here.
here.
Go to the hospital.
Yes.
Go to the hospital. So he's like, okay, this is possibly serious. Gets in the car, drives to the hospital. They treat him. Doctor said if you'd have come in a half an hour later, you'd have lost an organ.
What was wrong with him?
He didn't really want to get into the details, so we don't have the answer to that.
We have all these people that are listening saying, I have a sharp pain and am I dying?
Well, go ask ChatGPT.
Exactly.
But that's so interesting to me that ChatGPT, which he had spoke to before, with the same symptoms, knew this time it was more serious.
Of course.
That's really cool.
It is.
Now, would you have taken a video? Like, could you video yourself?
Yes.
And would that have changed the outcome, do you think?
I don't think so. Not in that particular case.
Okay.
I use the video option all the time.
Okay.
And who was I with? Somebody recently, and they're like, I had no idea you could do that. Oh, my friend Randy.
Okay.
I was like, I was showing him how it works. He's like, wow. And he's all into AI.
Right. Oh,
and
yeah.
didn't know that you could actually do that. But on a very personal level, I am the family matriarch.
Okay.
When my mother was in her last days, she came to me and she said, when I go, you're in charge of the family. And I said, oh, no, I'm not.
Who are the other options? Obviously, your sister could have been an option, right?
My brother.
Okay.
2 sisters or a brother. And she said, no, you are in charge of the family. I said, no.
Did she say the same thing to your siblings?
No.
Like Kim's in charge?
No. Yes.
Oh, okay.
She said, you are in charge of the family. And I'm passing the baton to you. Those were her words. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't want that.
I don't have time for this.
Okay. So I have assumed the role of being the family matriarch.
Okay.
I don't want to get into it, but there's a situation in the family that the matriarch has to fix.
Okay.
Deals with emotions, personalities, money.
Okay.
And I'm Catholic, you know that. And so I've been praying on it.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do? And I really felt when I was praying that my mother came to me or said to me, you need to write a letter. And you need to spell all this out so that they can actually see it.
Okay.
And they can see the situation.
Is that they both family members?
Yes.
Okay.
And so you need to step in and write a letter and explain why you're doing this and what's going on and what needs to be fixed in this family situation. Because when I say family matriarch, it's not just the siblings. We're talking like nieces, nephews, cousins. I mean, everybody that's out there.
The CEO runs the whole company.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, whether it's a new one that just got born 2 weeks ago,
right?
Madeline, so cute, or somebody's been around forever. Okay. So I'm sitting there and how am I going to even start this letter? So I went to chat and I said, here's the situation. Ask me questions about it so that I can write this letter.
Okay.
So I wrote the paragraph. First of all, I grabbed a glass of wine. Okay. The CEO needed a cocktail.
Did the letter then start with, you know what?
No, not with one glass. That's,
all right.
That's a couple of lemon drops. I've been there. And then it's like, I just go to bed. I'm like the worst drunk. So anyway, I grabbed a glass of wine, went in my office, and I gave it a paragraph. And then it said, I said, okay, got it. And then it said, let me ask you some questions. Ask me like 4 or 5 questions about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, it spit out this letter, 2-page letter, long letter, phenomenal.
Aren't you worried though about putting that much personal information into ChatGPT?
It's not my problem.
It is though, because it's connected to you. It knows it's online. It knows who your siblings are, and it will connect it to your siblings
or their kids or whoever we may be talking about.
Absolutely.
Yes. I'm not really worried about it because I do pay, and it says that it's not supposed to be using my data.
Now I pay now.
Yes.
And for ChatGPT because I'm using it all the time. I wanted to do a thing for my kids for Easter, and I wanted it to be like rhyming and like a little fun thing because I have young kids. And I typed in their nicknames are Deanie and Wheezy. And then I stopped and I'm like, do I want ChatGPT to know that my kids have nicknames and what they are?
Everybody knows you talk about it on the air.
I know that's a moment I had. Like, do I want to get too personal? And I stopped myself.
Did you?
Yeah.
So why don't you just make up
I just
names?
put in their social security numbers instead.
It's like, if you want to make a deposit, go ahead. Right here.
Another story for ChatGPT real quick is that people are actually complaining about ChatGPT lately because ChatGPT is still being a little too positive.
Really?
Yes. They've noticed that ChatGPT thinks everything is brilliant. Everything's amazing. Everything they put in is, oh my gosh, good work, good job. And people don't want that because if it's flowery, they don't believe that it's either A, professional or B, factual. They want it to be bottom line,
facts.
stern, facts, cold, hard.
Here's a kick in the ass.
Have you noticed that? Because it's been a change that ChatGPT has made.
Well, everything's always good in my world.
Okay, so you like it.
I do.
You like being called a genius and brilliant.
I love that. What does Barry always say? Unicorns, flowers, and ponies.
That's your life.
That's my side. And his side is like death and destruction and taxes.
Do you get an emotional reaction, though, when ChatGPT says, that's a great idea, Kim?
No.
Oh, so it doesn't phase you either way.
Because I know it's a great idea.
That's where we end this one, right here.